my darlings, I hope you're doing very, very well. I hope you are sitting comfortably, you are cozy, and you have your snacks and your beverages at the ready. In today's video, we'll be taking another look at ephemeral tattoos and some updates with ephemeral. At this point, ephemeral is like my hobby. The downfall of ephemeral tattoos truly does just entertain me to no end, because it's one of the biggest business disasters I think I've ever seen, especially within the tattoo industry anyway. Like, it is such a hot mess. Before we get into today's video, I want to take mention to two things. One is, in case you didn't watch my previous upload, you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, Lauren, where the hell are you? What is going on with your background right now? It's completely different to what it is normally. I did, again, upload a video about this situation, so I'll leave a link down below. Another thing I'd like to take mention to is some of the jewelry that I'm wearing in today's video. Some of it is from Regal Rose. In fact, most of it is, minus the bracelets. They're from other places. But the two rings that I'm wearing right now are from Regal Rose. The two necklaces that I'm wearing right now, Regal Rose. And then these earrings in my first lobe hole. They are freaking stunning. They are so shiny. They are like a magpie's dream. I swear to God, they are freaking stunning. Regal Rose has launched their autumn winter collection for this year, and oh my God, it is so freaking beautiful. I have been a big fan of Regal Rose jewelry for many years, way before I become a affiliate with them. PSA, this video isn't sponsored by any means, but I am an affiliate and I do have a discount code for you. So if there's any pieces that I'm showing you right now that you take a fancy to, then use my discount code and it'll take a chunk off of your order when it comes to the money, of course. The quality of Regal Rose jewelry is incredible, and it's so affordable for the detail that goes into their jewelry. Like, I don't know how they do it. But I am a huge jewelry girl. You probably have noticed throughout my videos, I'm always rocking some kind of jewelry, whether it's a necklace stack, big earrings, a lot of rings. Like, I am a jewelry girl. And I have some jewelry pieces that are kind of expensive, you know, but with Regal Rose, it's affordable and the quality matches my more expensive jewelry. It's, oh. I've got two rings from their new collection, and oh my God, they are freaking stunning. Like, absolutely stunning. Like, look at the detail within these rings. I cannot get over it. They give me sort of like 1920s Art Deco vibes, but there's a hint of like alternativeness to them. Like, I can't explain it. They're just so freaking stunning. These are definitely two of my most favorite rings right now, if not forever and ever. I also have this skeleton / clown pendant from them, and it moves. Like, the arms and legs move. It's so entertaining. It's one of those things that you can just like play around with when you're like watching TV. Guilty. This necklace is so good for stacking. So when I'm wearing a necklace stack, it is long enough to be like at the bottom of the necklace stack, or you can adjust it and make it a little bit shorter. So at the minute, this is kind of shorter than I would normally wear it, because I'm just wearing like two necklaces right now, but this is what it looks like with a necklace stack. Oh, it just finishes off the stack so nicely. And the pieces that I'm showing you now are literally just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to Regal Rose. They have so many gorgeous pieces. They literally have something for everyone. Like, if you like dainty jewelry, they've got you. If you like big, chunky, bold statement pieces, they've got you. There truly is something out there for everyone. So yeah, I'll leave a link down below to the Regal Rose website, and of course my discount code is on screen right now, so make sure you use that so you can treat yourself but save some money at the same time, because there is no better feeling, right? When you make an order and you can just save a little bit extra. Oh, I love that so much. Okay, so on to ephemeral tattoos. I'm going to do a very quick recap for those that aren't aware what ephemeral tattoos is, or you need a little refresh. Again, this is going to be a very quick recap. I have plenty of videos on ephemeral tattoos now, so I'll leave a link down below to my ephemeral tattoos playlist. Yes, there is a playlist. There is that many videos. So ephemeral tattoos is a made to fade tattoo ink that is done with a regular tattoo machine, and it was meant to fade within 15 months. That was the first time frame that ephemeral was pushing out as advertisement. They were like, hey, we have a made to fade tattoo. Your tattoo will be gone within 15 months. However, people still have their tattoos today, and ephemeral was launched in 2021. So yes, there are people walking around with 3 to 4 year old tattoos when they thought that these 3 to 4 year old tattoos were gonna fade in 15 months. Okay, could you imagine the disappointment? There's a lot of angry people, let me tell you. So like I was saying, ephemeral said that their first batch of ink would fade within 15 months. They put out a lot of impressive massive social media posts. They went really ham on TikTok and Instagram. They worked alongside quite a few content creators to, you know, get the word out there, which ended up kind of backfiring on them. Let's be serious, because now these content creators are like, my ephemeral tattoo didn't fade. And obviously these content creators have a lot of viewers and audience, and now everyone is kind of aware of how bad ephemeral tattoos is. With the ephemeral tattoos advertisement, they were very heavy on, if you are religious or you don't want to have a permanent tattoo forever, this type of tattoo is for you because it will fade. So you're not going against your religious views, or you're not going to have this tattoo forever. And of course, like I've been saying, there are so many people that have been left with their tattoo. And in case you didn't know, when you get tattooed, there is a possibility that you will be left with scarring. So if a tattoo artist is too heavy-handed, there's a chance that you will end up scarred. And normally when you have a regular tattoo, you can't notice it as much. But should the ephemeral tattoo fade, you may be left with scarring. So you're still marked and scarred for life anyway. So it's just like, they didn't mention that at all anywhere to start off with anyway. To start off with, Ephemeral Tattoos launched 6 tattoo studios across 6 major cities in America. But as soon as the noise of ephemeral tattoos not fading and that being spread around social media, they ended up closing down their 6 tattoo studios, which, yikes. They weren't open for that long at all. I think they were only open for like 2 years maximum, maybe 3 at a push, but they weren't open long at all. So then Ephemeral Tattoos decided to sell the ink online to tattoo artists. You had to kind of prove to them that you were a tattoo artist to buy this ink, but now anybody can buy the tattoo ink, and it is very expensive in comparison to normal tattoo ink. And again, there's a chance that this ephemeral tattoo ink won't fade for your clients, so you're kind of just like better off not wasting your money. And also the ephemeral tattoo ink is single use, so once you open it, you use it, and then you have to like throw it away. You cannot keep it like regular tattoo ink where you just put a little bit out in a pot, put it onto your shelf, and you can carry on using it. But with ephemeral, it's just like, bloop, you only use a little bit, oh well, the rest of it's got to go in the bin. So like I was saying, people are having issues with their ephemeral tattoos not fading, and it is very difficult to get rid of if you end up having an ephemeral tattoo that doesn't fade. You cannot use laser on ephemeral tattoo ink, as Ephemeral once upon a time said that they never tested laser on their ink, which kind of makes sense because the ink was meant to fade anyway, so why would you want to laser it off, you know, like it was going to fade anyway. So they didn't think to test laser on it. But there is a new development with this whole laser thing that I'm going to talk about in a moment, so keep this in mind. And again, like I was saying, there have been so many people come to social media talking about their disappointment with ephemeral tattoos and how their tattoos haven't faded. There's even a Reddit subreddit page called Ephemeral Tattoos. I think it is Ephemeral Tattoos or Ephemeral, I'm not sure, where there are so many posts of people talking about how their ephemeral tattoos haven't faded, and there has been quite a few people threatening to create a lawsuit. I think everyone's trying to like band together and take some kind of legal action against Ephemeral because, you know, they got a tattoo that they thought was going to fade within 15 months and they still have it. But Ephemeral's consent form is very ironclad. It kind of makes Ephemeral not really responsible for how the tattoo fades on people and stuff like that. I did read over it in my previous video about Ephemeral, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I don't know if a lawsuit will ever actually happen because Ephemeral have definitely protected themselves as much as they most possibly can. Ephemeral started offering refunds to those that have had their tattoo for 3 years. However, a lot of people have struggled to get that refund. People will send an email and it gets ignored, or they get responses very slowly, or it just takes forever for a refund to hit people's bank accounts. They're very dodgy on that front. Now, the ephemeral tattoo ink that a lot of people have had issues with was the first formulation. It was the first ink that they decided to use and they thought was good enough. However, it obviously wasn't good enough because they just didn't do enough testing, let's be serious. So they decided to reformulate it to improve the ink so it actually fades a lot quicker. Again, this is how it should have been with the first formulation or the first batch that you put into people's skin. You know, like if you're gonna give out claims that something's gonna fade within 15 months, you would hope that it actually would. You should not have to reformulate something to uphold your claims. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, So yeah, they reformulated in 2023 and there wasn't many improvements because people are still having issues with their ephemeral tattoos not fading in the specific time frame.
Did my ephemeral tattoo from over 2 years ago fade? Yes, but it's still there.
However, there are some people having a lot better luck with their ephemeral tattoos and it fading in the allotted time frame.
2 years ago, I got a disappearing tattoo. Like dead ass, like a disappearing tattoo. And I know that that sounds like an oxymoron, like it's not something that can happen. Like tattoo in itself is meant to be permanent. Not this one, bitch. It was meant to last a year to 3 years. And it has been 2. And finally, I'm back here to tell all of you who, when I posted this video at first 2 years ago, had told me that's not gonna fade. Like, that's not gonna fade. It's not gonna fade. It's gonna stay there your whole life. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. If you want to get a tattoo that's going to stay there forever. Y'all were so fucking mean. But I said 2 years, it's like a year and a half. I got this in July of 2023. Bitch! You see a tattoo on my arm? You see a tattoo on this arm? Oh, just in case you think I was lying, the tattoo is right fucking here and you can kind of see it. Do you see those little black lines? That was where it said passion. You wouldn't even know I had a fucking tattoo there. Okay, this one's kind of blurry. Is the first pic that I found. That's how deep it used to be. That's how dark it used to be. Like, it looked like a real tattoo.
Of course, when it comes to stuff like this, it really does depend on a person's body. Everybody's body is completely different as well, which is something I don't think Ephemeral ever, factored into this whole thing, Like, it's not something they really thought about. Ephemeral did try to drown out the bad reviews by offering to pay people for good reviews. Yes, on the Ephemeral subreddit page there was all of a sudden a big increase of good reviews and it took not long to figure out what was happening, and then someone did confess that, hey, yeah, Ephemeral is offering to pay people for good reviews, which is very, very, very sketchy if you ask me. I also believe that not many people ended up getting the money for doing that. It was a case of, hey, leave a review. People left a review and then they were like, hey, I've left a review, and they didn't get paid. One good thing about Ephemeral Tattoos though is the fact that they went into radiation tattooing. So when you get radiation for cancer treatment, you will be tattooed in the places that you're gonna have like radiation zapped into you, and it's just a marker so the radiation techs know where to place the radiation each time, if that makes sense. And obviously some people don't want that constant reminder of the fact that they went through something that can be very, very traumatic, which is obviously cancer and the treatment for it. So to offer a fading tattoo to those that want it is honestly such a good idea, and I'm so glad they went down that route because that is very, very beneficial. That's probably one of the only good things about Ephemeral at this moment in time. There's not much else I could say that's good about Ephemeral, to be honest with you, unfortunately. Oh, and another thing I didn't mention is the fact that the people that own Ephemeral Tattoos are like business bros. They have literally no interest within the tattoo industry. There is nobody behind Ephemeral that is, a long-term tattoo artist, someone that's been in the tattoo industry for a very long time. It was literally made up by a bunch of college grads, which probably is definitely their downfall because they don't know much about the tattoo industry at all, and it shows. Oh boy. So that's pretty much a quick recap on Ephemeral Tattoos. Again, I have a lot of videos about Ephemeral Tattoos if you want more details about the whole thing. So let's get on to the updates. The first one is the fact that there was a article on the Elle magazine website, and the headline for this article is, I got a made to fade tattoo that never faded. A big idea went wrong. So I thought we'd take a quick look at the article. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I will leave a link down below to this article should you want to read the whole thing. So it starts off by saying, if someone said there was a tattoo that felt and looked real but would fade within 9 to 15 months, would you try it? I did in January of 2022. I went to now shuttered Brooklyn studio intending to get a made to fade tattoo. The founder of Ephemeral Tattoo, Joshua Shakai, told me a heartwarming story about his intention to make truly temporary body art so that he could be buried in a Jewish cemetery. Tattoos are generally forbidden in Jewish culture. A receptionist showed me pictures of the fading process and I oohed and ahed at the before and after photos depicting how the ink would start out jet black and then fade to nothing. I I was sold. Luckily, I have no plans to go to a bathing house in Japan or display my arm in one of the many countries where tattoos are banned anytime soon, because my ephemeral tattoo is not very ephemeral. My temporary tattoo is on my left bicep, a line drawn rose that I wanted to look like wisps of smoke to pay homage to its alleged impermanence. 3 years and 2 months later, the lines are still there, though the black has faded to the same shade of blue as my veins in my wrists. So then later on in this article, there is the mention of the laser situation that I was talking about earlier. So the article says, if I could remove mine, I would, but unlike regular tattoos, which you can laser off if you change your mind like Pete Davidson, there is no fail-safe solution for your ephemeral tattoo. We have tested laser removal and it has not worked, says Lou, who is the CEO of Ephemeral. Laser removal is designed to use a lot of heat to break up molecules. The materials we use break up in the presence of water, so applying heat to them does not actually replicate the same degradation process that water exposure does. Lou rationalizes that every tattoo will fade eventually. There's a lot of empirical, is that the word? Empirical, yes. There's a lot of empirical evidence that tattoos are fading and will fade for even the customers that are a little bit more impatient. Now imagine, okay, imagine calling people that were told that their tattoos were going to fade in 15 months maximum impatient because it's been like 3 years, okay? Imagine calling them people impatient. Like, what the hell? That is so beyond rude. So incredibly rude. How about you know, make an ink that's meant to do what it's meant to do, and if you can't do that, don't bring it to market. Don't put it in people's skin, because you're going to get people complaining and rightfully being so incredibly angry at this whole situation because you've scarred them for life. Anyway, the article carries on saying, to be clear, I don't think that wanting a tattoo that was promised to fade within 15 months but has stuck around for 3 years or longer to go away qualifies as impatience, which that's exactly what I'm saying, okay? So, like I was saying earlier, Ephemeral did say that they never tested on laser, right? But now they're saying they did test on laser. And luckily for all of us, okay, I have a screenshot of the CEO of Ephemeral saying in a Reddit post, because they are kind of active in the Ephemeral subreddit page. This is a screenshot from 2023. I talked about this screenshot in one of my Ephemeral videos back then. And yeah, Jeff, the CEO of Ephemeral, said, sounds like you're an Ephemeral Labs participant. Brennell posted this response to an earlier question the same. I know having your tattoo last longer than anticipated might be frustrating to you. However, we have not tried removing ephemeral tattoos using lasers. And because of the unknown interactions with the polymers and the color additives we use, I would discourage you from pursuing laser removal at this time. So like 2-3 years ago, they were like, no, we haven't tested with laser because it won't work. But now they're saying that they have tested with laser. And of course, they could have tested in that time frame without a doubt. But what? Like, I just feel like it's another lie from Ephemeral. Like, let's be serious. Like, if they were open and honest about everything, then I would be like, okay, yeah, sure, they have tested within that time frame. But like, I just don't trust it. I feel like they're going back on their word and being like, oh yeah, we tested, when they most probably haven't, because they know it's not going to work. So why would you even bother? Like, I don't know. I just feel like it's another lie. Now here comes another very big and important update from Ephemeral. Ephemeral have decided to reformulate a third time. A third time. They didn't get it right the first time, so they thought, we'll do it again. The second time clearly isn't working that well because some people are still having a lot of issues with their ink fading. So now let's reformulate for a third time. They're doing everything but shutting down. Like, they're really, really holding on to this business. It's kind of like, oh my god, please just let it go. Or just put all your time and effort into the radiation tattoo side of things, because there is probably so much money within that. Like, you're not going to be losing out on money. Selling this ink to tattoo artists just isn't working that well. You know, like, what are we doing here? So about 2 weeks ago, Ephemeral posted up this post on Instagram with the caption, our Gen 3 is here and it's a game changer. I mean, can any of us trust this? No, probably not. We've listened, tested, and improved, and the results speak for themselves. With our Gen 3 2024 advanced formulation, ephemeral tattoos now fade more consistently and predictably. What's new in Gen 3? 90% of tattoos fade within 2 years. 98% fade within 3 years. Fine line and detailed design stay crisp, no blurring or haziness after healing. This is not just an upgrade, it's a transformation. Learn more about Gen 3. Link is in the bio. Now, can anyone see the issue here? They're saying that this was formulated in 2024, but they're also saying that the tattoos fade within 2 years. Well, 2024 was last year. So for them to know that this fades within 2 years, it would have to be 2026, right? But it's not, because we're still in 2025. So how do you know that this is going to fade within 2 years unless they can time travel, which, hello, we would like to know about that, please. And then the whole 98% fade within 3 years. Again, how do you know that? Because it's not been 2027 yet, has it? So how can you make these claims if the formula you made in 2024 was like a year ago? It was a year ago, not 3 years ago, honey. Like, another lie. Like, how can you make these claims? Like, they're full of bullshit. Like, what is this? What is going on here? So the picture posts of this Instagram post from Ephemeral say, meet Gen 3 ink, our most advanced formulation yet. 90% tattoo fade in 2 years. Made better, fades better. And then there is an example tattoo here. It says, fade time is now more predictable than ever. Day 1, so this is when the tattoo is done. Which, for that to be a fresh tattoo, it don't look very fresh. If you've been tattooed before, you know what a fresh tattoo looks like. And that doesn't look like a fresh tattoo to me. Like, where's the redness? Where's the shininess? You know, like, where, like, what? Something's off about that, but whatever. We'll just move past that. With month 4, you can still kind of see the tattoo, but it has faded quite a bit. I will give them that. The only other thing is, like, it's hairy. Like, obviously there's nothing wrong with having a hairy body part, let's be serious, but like if you're going to show stuff like this, maybe we should shave the area, you know, like just so we can actually see, because the hair does, you know, cloud what's going on underneath the skin and what have you, but whatever. And then month 10, you really can't see much again. Like there's a little shadow, but again, it's hard to tell with the hair being there, you know, like if you're gonna do this type of post, it needs to be consistent throughout the months. So like shave the area, it would just be a lot more clear as to what we're left with. But it has faded. I will give it to them, it has faded, but again, everybody's different. This has probably been done by a tattoo artist that has worked with ephemeral tattooing over and over and over and over again, so they know the best way to apply this tattoo ink. If you were to give this new reformulation of tattoo ink to someone that's never done an ephemeral tattoo before, are they gonna have the same result? Do you know what I mean? Like, but there was some comments on this post. One person said, any tips to help my ephemeral tattoo from 2022 to go away? And there's so many people being like, same. Like, people are struggling right now. I'd be so pissed if I got a tattoo that I thought was going to fade and it didn't. And then they're out here being like, oh, hey, like we now have a new improved formulation that works the way it was meant to work all those years ago. Like, I'd be so pissed off. And then there's another comment that tags someone else in. I'm guessing it's this person's friend. And I had an ephemeral tattoo in July 2022 and it has yet to disappear. Very different from the expectation that was promised at the time. Ephemeral tattoo, do you have customer support? Which they do, but getting an answer, good luck. And then someone else said, but this faded off in 10 months, no predictability, which is true, because I feel like if this is how all of them are going to fade, this is now fading too quickly. Do you know what I mean? Like, you would probably want an ephemeral tattoo for about a year before it starts to look like garbage, right? Well, maybe just under a year before it starts fading away, because these ephemeral tattoos are going to be the exact same price as a regular tattoo, if not more, to factor in the cost of the very, very expensive ink. So it's just like, what is the point? Then there was another post on Instagram to kind of show the differences between the first generation of ephemeral tattoo ink and the third reformulation. So the caption to this says, meet Gen 3, our most advanced ink yet. Create with confidence. Gen 3 delivers crisp, intricate tattoos that fade within 2 years. Sharper lines, better for fine detail, validated fade timeline. Do they really, really, really want to do that? This isn't just an upgrade, it's a transformation. Gen 1 refers to 2021 to 2022 ink formulation. So the picture that they posted on Instagram says, Gen 3 ink is here and it changes everything. Quality you can see, fading you can trust. Again, I cannot trust ephemeral. Like, I would much rather trust an ex-boyfriend to not cheat again than I would ephemeral to do what it's meant to. Do you know what I mean? And then the next picture on this post, Oh my god, like they literally tell on themselves by saying, we are aware that our first formulation was garbage. Even though they put out all of these very impressive fade timeline photos as advertisement, they're now showing how bad their first generation or the first formulation of ephemeral ink was. So as you can see here, it says Gen 1 ink. This is the ephemeral tattoo ink that they launched their tattoo studios with. This is the ink that a lot of people thought was going to fade within 9 to 15 months. And now they are showing proof that they are very much aware that the first formulation was garbage. Look, it looks like an actual tattoo. Like, are you kidding me with this? They're literally being like, yeah, we knew our first formulation was shit. Look at the difference between the advertisement that they posted and what they were aware the ink actually does, right? Like, this could heavily harm them if there is ever a lawsuit. Just putting it out there. I also want to mention that this Bedlam tattoo, I am so sure this is one of the first tattoos they did. I'm so sure I saw on an ephemeral blog post a few years ago that they mentioned this Bedlam tattoo, but because they do a lot of dirty deletes, I cannot prove this. So please take what I'm saying right now with a pinch of salt, because I cannot prove it. And I love to deliver receipts and screenshots and everything of what I'm saying, but I'm so sure this was one of the first tattoos that they did with the ephemeral tattoo ink. So again, they were very much aware of how this tattoo ink behaves, but again, can't prove it. So but back to the Instagram post, as you can see, the Generation 3 ink, the reformulation for the third time, does seem to work a lot better, but do we trust it considering what they would put out about their first formulation? I don't trust it, but you know, nice try. I don't think anyone can trust this, right? Or is it just me? Do I have really bad trust issues? There were some more comments from people being like, my ephemeral tattoo from like 3 years ago hasn't faded, so what you doing? So someone said, yeah, I'm on year 3, wondering why you didn't just start with an ink that would really fade away, which... please, thank you. Same here, over 3 years and still have it. So then there was, of course, another post on Instagram from Ephemeral saying, this is Gen 3. We've taken your feedback and created our most advanced formulation yet. One that offers intricate designs and fades exactly as intended. Should have been like that to start off with. We have 90% of tattoos fading within 2 years. Swipe through to see Gen 3 in action, real tattoos, real results. To learn more, check out our blog on Gen 3, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this Instagram post says, this is Gen 3, looks and fades exactly how it should. Clean lines, bold results, made to fade. So in this post, they're basically showing the difference between the quality of the ink and how it can be a lot more precise and what have you. So we've got Gen 1 ink, Gen 3 ink, one says Bedlam, the other one says Immortal, which we've looked at these anyway. Then we have some floral designs here. As you can see with Gen 1 ink, it does look kind of skippy, like I think this is a healed tattoo, like after the first like 2 or 3 weeks of, you know, it being in someone's skin. And yeah, it is a bit patchy in places, but other than that, it just looks like a regular tattoo. And the same with Gen 3, it does look a lot more saturated and a lot more consistent. But this could also be like a tattoo artist error as well. Like, are they using the same tattoo artists? Who knows? They're not very transparent with that, so... but that's not shocking. And then we have these cat tattoos as well. To be honest, I think I prefer Gen 1 on this one to Gen 3, but that's maybe just me. It's just the style of the tattoo, I guess. And again with this one, I prefer Gen 1 over Gen 3. Like, the Gen 3 one looks absolutely atrocious. That looks so freaking bad. Like, what? You're meant to be promoting your tattoo ink here. Why are you posting this? Again, I much prefer the first version. And yeah, sure, the first formulation is gonna stay there forever. At least it looks good. Then we have some birds here, and again, it's just like, it's a different style. I think different tattoo artists are being used here, so like, I don't know what they're trying to prove here. Like, it just... okay. And then there is another Instagram post that says, gone, not forgotten, because change was part of the plan. Real tattoo, real fade. I'm trying to work out if this is the same person. I think so. It's just hard. Like, they should have taken a much better photo of like a side-by-side situation. Like, it makes me question, is this really the same person? Because you've still got the same like freckles there. I think it is, because there is like a grayish shadow on this person's skin on the after. So it may be. And then there is one more post from Ephemeral that says, bored, inspired, spiraling at 2 a.m. There's a tattoo for that. And yes, it will fade before your next doom scrolling session, which I highly doubt because I doom scroll literally every 5 hours. So I don't think ephemeral tattoos are fading within 5 hours. That's for sure. But again, they've used like, this tattoo just looks bad. Like, why are they like using such bad examples for their, you know, tattoo ink? Like, what? Who did this? Like a 5-year-old? Like, as someone that doesn't tattoo, I'm pretty sure I could do line work a lot better than that, right? Like, what is going... Oh, God, okay. That's pretty much it on the Ephemeral Instagram side of things. We'll take a quick look at the information about this Generation 3 formulation on this, like, blog post situation they've got on, like, a website or what have you. It says, why today's Ephemeral is fundamentally different, introducing Gen 3, a 2024 formulation. Since 2024, Ephemeral has delivered a fundamentally more reliable product, representing the most significant breakthrough in semi-permanent tattoo technology to date. This generation of ephemeral tattoo ink is the result of a decade of scientific research, analysis of over 20,000 customer experiences, and direct response to the limitations of earlier generations. Important: experiences with ephemeral tattoo ink prior to 2024 do not reflect current product performance. If you're researching ephemeral based on older reviews or social media posts you're reading about previous generations of our technology, they're so embarrassed of their previous formulations, which is understandable, but also you shouldn't have put out the first formulation and tattooed thousands of people with it, because of course they're gonna, you know, discuss and talk about the fact that their tattoo hasn't faded. Like, you should have put out Gen 3 to start off with. But I think what did happen, I'm pretty sure I've spoke about this in some of my previous ephemeral tattoo videos, I think they basically had to rush to market to make money, because obviously when you start a business it's very, very, very expensive, so they were probably running out of money. They probably thought, oh fuck it, we've had some fading with our first formulation, let's just put it out there, we need to make money so we can like put more research into it, and then we'll just make another formulation. And formulation number 2 didn't work out very well either, so now we're on number 3. Anyway, so it says product generation evolution, Gen 1 2021 to 2022, initial launch formulation, significant fade variability, status discontinued. Probably for the best. Gen 2 2023, formulation with less fade time variability, 76% of tattoos fade within 2 years. This has also been discontinued. And then literally a year later, Gen 3 advanced formulation with the most consistent fade duration, predictable fade experiences, 90% fade within 2 years, available now. But again, this whole, oh, it will fade within 2 years. You don't know. How do you know that? We are not in 2026. So then they go into the benefits of the new formula and, you know, what it delivers and how, you know, it can fade within 3 years. And how the application of the tattoo will look a lot better because the lines will look a lot better. But, like, do we really care about that if it's actually going to fade within a certain amount of time? You know, like, it's not going to get to the point of being an aged tattoo if it's going to fade. And then it talks about the application of the ink and how, you know, you can have reduced skin trauma because you don't have to go over it so much. No wonder people are having issues with the first formula if tattoo artists had to go over it again and again and again, which causes scarring, which obviously would lead to the tattoo not fading so well. And then here they go telling on themselves some more about how the first formulation was terrible. So Gen 1 had unpredictable fade journey, significant fade time variability, potential diffusion and blurring, challenging flow, extensive training required. But they were like handing this out to any old tattoo artist, by the way. Limited detail work, restricted body areas. Then Gen 3, 90% fade within 2 years, which again, how do we know? Precise line retention, consistent flow, full fine line and intricate design capability, enhanced placement across body. And then there is some example photos that we've already looked at when it comes to the work, the types of tattoos that can be done, and honestly I do prefer the majority of the Gen 1, but that's just me. Addressing common misconceptions. Remember, I have a lot of videos of evidence of these misconceptions, okay? So let's see what they're saying here. Ephemeral tattoos don't actually fade. It's because they don't. Reality, this misconception stems from experiences with Gen 1 formulation 2021 to 2022. The Gen 3 2024 formulation delivers clinically validated fade performance with 90% of tattoos fading within 2 years. The quality is inconsistent. Quality concerns reflect previous generation limitations. Advanced formulation delivers consistent professional grade results through iterations of significant changes to the formulation. But again, it also depends per tattoo artist, doesn't it? Like, one tattoo artist may be able to use this tattooing very, very well, and then another tattoo artist may not be able to use this very, very well. There is still going to be inconsistencies no matter what, right? Like, let's be real. Artists can't work the ink properly. Earlier formulation challenges have been completely resolved. Artists report that advanced formulation handles similarly. Oh my god, I can never say that word. Similarly. To traditional permanent inks with minimal technique adjustments in some cases. What tattoo artist has time to learn how to use a different type of ink? You know, obviously has challenges with it. What tattoo artist has time to figure that out, right? And then it goes into the research situation and all of that jazz, okay? And then some more information here about customer experience excellence. There's some reviews here. The difference between my 2022 and 2024 ephemeral tattoos is night and day. The new formula faded exactly as promised, but the first formulation should have faded as promised. As an artist, I can tell you the 2024 advanced formulation handles completely differently. It's very similar to working with permanent ink. I was hesitant after reading older reviews, but my 2024 experience was exactly what I expected. How many of these have been paid? My experience lines up with the timeline I was told by the company. I'm excited to be part of a new facet of tattooing. But again, it should have been like this from day one. I'm fully aware that there are so many products out there that do go through reformulation for whatever reason. You know, makeup, hair products, whatever, right? It does happen. But when it comes to putting stuff in people's skin, like tattooing, I think we should have nailed it the first time. You know, like, it's not too much to ask. So we're now going to take a look at the ephemeral subreddit page just to see what people have been posting. So the first one we have here is an ephemeral tattoo. It says, my experience August 2023 to July 2024. And as you can see, there's been some fading. It's still very, very noticeable, but it's not like super saturated or what have you. I also think there might have been an error with the time frame here. Maybe it's meant to be July 2025. I'm not entirely sure. It might be 2024, but it would make sense for it to be this year, you know? Then there is this post that says 3 years and 5 months just emailed for a refund. And this picture is from when it was first done by the looks of things, from the 25th of February in 2022, and it's like a cookie with wings, which is kind of cute. I like that. And then this is what it looks like now. It's still very, very noticeable. It has faded a little bit, but for it to be there for 3 years is just ridiculous. Like, absolutely awful. There's another post that says, what's the current refund timeline? I passed my 3-year anniversary a couple months ago and emailed Ephemeral for my money back, but haven't had any response. How long is it taking folks to hear back, and do I need to keep badgering them? So like I was saying earlier, people are really, really struggling when it comes to getting their refunds. Someone replied saying, been emailing them for 4 months. 4 months. Nothing. Completely ghosted. Just file a chargeback with your credit card, which I would recommend if anyone is struggling. You know, like, if you're not getting a response within, like, what, 3 weeks maybe, definitely go to your bank. I got a response and promise of a refund in 60 days. I'm at day 40. There are a couple ways to apply pressure. Email them via LinkedIn, especially CEO Jeff and co-founder Van Dan. Jeff has a post about Ephemeral in India and you can call him out there, but I'd set up a second account first. It's not worth harming your professional reputation. File with the BBB and the state of CT Consumer Division. The company is headquartered in CT. Post on their Instagram. They will block you, but it does get their attention. Hope this helps. The fact that you have to literally fight and do all of these steps to get a refund that they were promising to give people is absolutely absurd, so unprofessional. Like, if you don't have the money to be giving out refunds because they may be financially struggling, which would be understandable, don't promise these things. It's just all like smoke and mirrors. They're all like, oh, we're a good company, yes, we'll refund you, to make them look good, but the people that actually need the refunds or deserve the refunds aren't getting them. It's just... ugh. And then someone said, just an update, it's day 50 and I have not heard one word from them. I will come back and report if anyone actually reaches out on day 60 with a refund. And then there is this post that says lawsuit and refund. Has anyone had success in getting a refund or a response from them? I have been emailing them since May and they promised a response within 60 days and it's been 70 plus with no response. I followed up multiple times and even filed a claim with the Better Business Bureau. I've been commenting on their Instagram trying to get them to acknowledge me and got blocked in the process. Really stellar customer care. Has anyone had any luck starting a lawsuit? If so, I'd like to join. And then there is a reply that says, in April, I sent my original email on the day that my tattoo turned 3 years old and attached all kinds of supporting documents, receipt, day 1 tattoo photos, year 3 tattoo photos, year 3 video. A couple days later, I got a response back saying to take new photos, but to add a plus in pen ink to the tattoo to verify again the present status of the tattoos. Once I found time to draw myself to take photos, it was about 2 weeks later. I received no response that confirmed receipt of my email. When I reached the 63-day mark, I followed up and a day later they actually responded and said the tattoo clearly hadn't faded and they will be issuing a refund. I received the refund back on my credit card within a week. So luckily one person did eventually get their money back. They had to do so many steps to do it, which is crazy. You shouldn't have to jump through hoops to get your money back that you were promised, you know? Like, this person said, sorry you're having so much trouble with the refund. Some people have been holding off on getting refund to see what happens with a lawsuit. The subreddit creator is trying to keep a lot of the lawsuit related discussion reserved to a single thread for now. Have you seen it? So I think I may have mentioned this post in a previous video, but I'm not entirely sure because again, I've made so many videos about Ephemeral now. But there is this like main post about the lawsuit that people are trying to do. It says, hi everybody, there seems to be a lot of questions surrounding possible legal action because this sub isn't super active. I think that things are getting lost, so they're being posted over and over. If you have any questions regarding lawsuits or the like, please use this post to discuss it. And then the most recent comment on this post says, turns out that it's a lot harder to find a law firm than I originally thought. I think I've contacted at least 20 at this point. If anyone has any lawyer friends, please see if they can refer us to any lawyers that might be interested in a case like ours. So like I was saying earlier, I would love a lawsuit to happen against Ephemeral because of just how much crap that they have, you know, put out there and made so many fake promises. They were obviously very, very aware that their first formulation was garbage, but hey, they needed to make the money. And I can never ever get over the main photo that they put out to show that their tattoos were meant to fade within 15 months. And that literally didn't happen for anyone. Like, I don't think anyone had that much success with their ephemeral tattoos fading from the first, you know, formulation. So they lied a bunch and that's just not fair. A lot of people do lack empathy for the people that did get ephemeral tattoos and say, well, you know, you're having something stabbed into your skin, why do you think it's gonna fade? But a lot of people don't know much about the tattoo world and how tattoos work, and you know, if there's a company out there promising that something's gonna fade, then a lot of people are going to be like, oh, okay, that sounds fun, I want to take part in that, like, without even thinking about it, which obviously, yeah, okay, you should have maybe researched, but also, like I was saying, like, Ephemeral's advertising and the way they posted on their social media, like, most people would fall for that, you know? Like, we shouldn't be blaming the people that fell victim to Ephemeral, we should be blaming Ephemeral, you know? I definitely feel like they need to pay in some way, like, how, I don't know, whether that is compensation to everyone that has had a bad ephemeral tattoo or what, I don't know. I don't think anything will ever happen. I feel like it's going to be one of those things where they keep trying to make this business work and some people will fall for it, find out the hard way, and I don't know, eventually everyone will become aware of just how bad ephemeral tattoos is. I feel like a lot of people are aware now, but there's obviously some people out there that don't, you know, like not everyone is heavily within the tattoo world. Not everyone consumes tattoo related content all the time that has tattoos, you know, so I I don't know. I feel like maybe this formulation may work for them. You know, it may do what it is saying that it will do. But I don't know. I don't trust it. It'll be interesting to see where this goes within the next year or so, you know, with that whole 2-year claim situation. Let's see how many people actually get ephemeral tattoos within the next year or so and see how they end up fading. It will be very, very interesting to see, you know, what happens with it. But again, I feel like a lot of people do have trust issues with ephemeral, and not many people are willing to trust ephemeral. And yeah, that is pretty much it for the ephemeral update. I will of course keep you updated should anything new or major come out about ephemeral. You know me, I'm always keeping my eye on ephemeral tattoos. It's, I don't know, a hobby at this point. It's just very, very interesting to see, you know, like I was saying earlier, this business crash and burn so freaking hard. I would love to know your thoughts and opinions on ephemeral tattoos and this new formulation. Would you trust it, or has your trust completely gone for ephemeral, or would you be willing to try this? Would you be willing? Let me know. Let me know if there's anyone brave out there. Yeah, that's it for today's video. I just want to say thank you so, so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little while. I appreciate you all so freaking much. And until my next video, bye.